I want to show you a new sync cable for the iPod or iPhone called the duraSync cable. It's this high quality cable made out of this really thick PVC coating and shielding underneath, which is supposed to resist pulling, bending, crushing, all sorts of things that would normally damage the typical sync cable for your iPod, like this one, for example. See, this is the one that you get with it. And if you look at them side by side, you can see right away this one is thinner, this one's thicker, and the joints aren't as well put together on the typical one than on this one. Now, the concept of a durable cable like this one isn't new. I mean, here's a USB cable that's made with the same sort of design. It's got this heavy coating and that braided shielding underneath. Same deal. This one happens to be for a Canon scanner that I've had for quite some time. And of course, this one also has these, I believe they're interference filters here. So that's pretty neat. I mean, it's the same thing. Here I have a firewire cable. Firewire 400 cable, same concept, heavy coating and braided shielding. So it's not new, but the cool thing is that these guys applied it to the iPod and iPhone sync cable. So this is the cable up close. As you can see, it's a high quality connection here between the cable itself and the plug, the part that goes into your iPod or iPhone. Look how thick the plastic is around the connectors here. It's about 2 millimeters thick around the metal part, and that's really nice. There's a really solid feel to this cable. Really, I've been using it since November of last year. I really love this cable. It's quite solid. You get the feeling that you can just about take it with you anywhere, and it's gonna last. So yeah, here's the part that plugs into the USB port on your computer. Again, same quality joint, well put together, well glued. This thing isn't coming apart anytime soon, just like the other the plug that goes into your iPod or iPhone. And it's the same thick plastic coating around it, holding the USB port or the USB connector together. And this is a closer shot of the braiding around the sync cable. So it's got this clear PVC coating, and then it's got this braided shielding underneath it. It's quite nice. Now compare the duraSync cable with a typical sync cable for the one that ships with your iPad with your iPhone or iPod. This one also has a thick plastic coating around the connector, but this one's made of a brittle plastic that could crack if exposed to shock or if you step on it or who knows what. This may look sturdy as a joint between the cable and the housing for the connector, but unfortunately, as plenty of people have found out after repeated bending like this, which does happen if you travel with your iPod a lot, or if you sync it a lot, or you charge it, or who knows, because of course you can also use this as a charge cable. This will come apart, so that's not very good either. Of course, the cable itself is thinner. The coating on this one is white. It's more flexible than that on the duraSync cable. But that also means you can bend it quite a bit, which does mean that you can introduce kinks in the cable, possibly breaking a few of the strands inside, and then it's not going to work. So yeah, I'm also not sure if this has any shielding whatsoever underneath. It's possibly just the cables braided together in a spiral pattern, and the coating placed on top of them. So yeah. Now the USB plug here does seem to be sturdier. However, this is not glued to the cable, so that means that you can easily pull on this, and depending on how secure this is in here, it may come apart as well. This, of course, can also crack if you step over it, or who knows what. Generally speaking, this part of the cable does tend to be a little sturdier than this part of the cable, but it really all depends on how much you use the cable and what sort of use you get out of it. Now, if you're going to be doing a lot of heavy-duty traveling, if you're going to be carrying this cable around in your backpack or in your bag and always syncing your iPod or charging it, then it's probably best to invest in a duraSync cable, because this cable may not hold up very well over time. And the benefit of getting the duraSync, I think, is because it is cheaper than this particular cable. So say this cable breaks for you, just get the duraSync, and that way you know it's going to last longer than this. More I can do other than what the folks at CableJive have already done, and I'll point you to a video that they've done where they run over this thing with a car, they bang it with a hammer, they throw it, they do pretty much anything you can think of to this thing, and still works afterward.